fourth Sunday of Lent. The antiphon of the man born blind is the communio of Letare Sunday, the fourth Sunday of Lent. Lutum fecit ex puto Dominus, et lenivit oculos meus, et habii, et lavi, et vidi, et credidi Deo. The Lord made mud with his spittle, and spread it over my eyes. And I went, and washed, and I saw, and believed in God. The liturgical context surrounding this brief gospel communio is entirely special. Letare Jerusalem, rejoice Jerusalem. This is the beginning of the fourth Sunday of Lent, itself called Letare Sunday. The parallel with the third Sunday of Advent, Gaudete Sunday, is evident. The two feasts are linked by the anomaly of joy, which the liturgy places in a provocative manner at the center of the strongly penitential seasons of Advent and Lent. The surprising invitation to gladness is found in the visible signs of the liturgy, which exceptionally change the color of the celebrant's vestments from purple to pink, and also in decisively richer acoustical garment that the Gregorian Chant reserves in a particular way for the introits of the two Sundays. If the Pauline text of the Gaudete is a foretaste of the joy of Christmas, the text from Isaiah for Letare orients the journey of Lent toward Easter. To the textual and musical exuberance of the introit, the Proprium Missae of the fourth Sunday of Lent unites a significant and direct allusion to Easter. It does so with a small accent formula that characterizes the melodies typical of the canticles of the Easter Vigil. Gloriose enim, enim. Proiecit in mare, mare. This is the formula. This melodic cell, already encountered in the introit invocabit me, the accent of the verb glorificabo, glorificabo, of the first Sunday of Lent, also appears in two pieces assigned exclusively to this fourth Sunday since ancient times. The first of these is the Tractus qui confidunt, Tractus qui confidunt, constructed precisely on the melody type of the Easter Canticles. The formula in aeternum, in circuitu eius. The second context that sees the presence of the same formula is the incipit of the antiphon Jerusalem que edificato, Jerusalem, the formula, originally intended as a communio for this Sunday Mass. The conceptual bridge between the first Sunday and Easter, built upon this formula as a basis, is endowed with the central pillar precisely on this fourth Sunday. The invitation to rejoice, which the introit translates in the manner already presented, finds expressive substance in the Paschal call that resounds repeatedly in the Lenten celebration itself. This coherence is overshadowed a bit by the current liturgical organization of the 3-year cycle. In year A, in fact, the original communio is replaced with the antiphon Lutum fecit. The Gospel reading from John, the episode of the healing of the man born blind, set for this Sunday, was the justification for using the communion Lutum fecit, which the Gregorian Codices and Graduale Romanum 19:8 destined for Feria Quinta of the fourth week of Lent, a few days later. The text of this brief antiphon is substantially made up of two phrases, very different in their construction, which encapsulate the miraculous episode. Unlike the other Lenten communio associated with Gospel episodes, those of the Samaritan, of Lazarus, of the adulterous woman, in this case it is not Christ who speaks, but the man born blind, who recounts his healing. The first phrase, in extreme stylistic simplicity and without any emphasis, objectively presents the facts. There is nothing extraordinary in this. Jesus made mud with his saliva and spread it on the eyes of the man. The only expressive highlight is found in the emphasis of the concluding adjective meos, my eyes. The tonic syllable in this case is formed by a descending neume of 3 notes, climacus, which, in the main of this first verse made up of syllables of 1 or 2 notes, constitutes the point of maximum acoustic density. Above all, the first of these 3 notes, as evinced by the margin notes that surround the square notation, is the only one endowed with an expanded value in the whole first phrase. In any case, the overall rhythmic flow up to this first cadence is absolutely ordinary, and the natural textual accentuations are seconded by the regular melodic elevation in correspondence with the tonic syllable of each word: lutum, fecit, sputo, dominus, et linivit oculos meos. If the first phrase recounts the fact, the second proclaims the event. The musical style does not change, keeping its rigorous simplicity, but the criterion of textual composition changes radically. The ordinary initial flows of the accounts is suddenly contrasted by the sparse intonization of 4 consecutive verbs, connected by the reiteration of the conjunction it, used as a rhetorical device with great persuasive power. Et abi, et lavi, et vidi, et credidi Deo. And I went, and washed, and I saw, and believed in God. The powerful and effective synthesis on the textual level finds confirmation and further clarification of meaning in the musical phrasing suggested by the manuscript sources in the margins. St. Gall and Long. The neumes make evident above all the expressive crescendo that occurs with the first 3 verbs. Their respective accent syllables are progressively endowed with amplified sound values, up to the attestation of the miracle, et vidi. translated rhythmically with a double underlining of the two descending sounds on the accent syllables, clivis, with expanded values, and the additional St. Gallian T, standing for tenete, a letter that invites one to hold on to the corresponding syllable on account of its importance. But the true surprise is realized precisely on the basis of this context, or indeed of this apparent cadence that in a solemn way leads the melody to the low do et vd. This procedure, although it marks an accentual goal of great significance, does not in any way set up a definitive conclusion, because the energetic recovery at the last et drives the phrasing of yet another climax of Gregorian monody toward the culminating point, et credidi Deo, and I believed in God. The neumes clearly indicate the urgent and peremptory proclamation of this final statement. It is the act of faith that closes the antiphon and gives it its full significance. This is also the case from the viewpoint of the overall modal construction. The piece is supported by a melodic unfolding in tritus plagale, sixth mode, and it is precisely the last decisive phrase that, after the apparent cadence on the low note, takes the piece back to its true modality, sixth mode, a modality that markedly finds ample space in the Easter season, and that in this Lenten context recounts a miraculous sign that becomes an itinerary of faith, and that, recounted in that manner, resounds as an anticipation and promise of a complete future fulfillment.
und so